I like your shoes. Thank you.
Okay. What does this outfit say about me? Does it say that I'm a smart, intelligent young woman? Or does it say that I need attention to feel good about myself? Far too many women believe that being sexy empowers them. It raises their status level. The truth is that nearly all women, including myself, have believed this lie. The truth is that it does empower men by giving them control over women, because to society, women are nothing more than sexual objects to be used to pleasure others. In this type of society, women from a very early age begin to actually believe that they are sexual objects. Women have been convinced that they are nothing but a sexual play toy, and their appearance becomes the #1 concern in their life. If you had no idea who I was, and you saw me wearing this, would you have taken anything I said seriously? Would you have even paid attention if I started talking about anything thoughtful or intelligent? Or would you have either pictured me in bed or just picked apart the way that I look? Now, when I cover up, I actually feel like I am less of a sexual object. Because I can actually focus on what's inside me. I care more about focusing on the condition of my heart, my ability to love, my drive to accomplish my goals. I'm not thinking about what other people think when I walk by. Now, don't think I'm just talking about this to you guys to encourage modesty. Because my real point, is that so many women are just stuck in this mindset that they are sexual objects, and they have to constantly look sexy in order to achieve the approval they need. Society aims to convince women that they are sexual objects, and that the sexiest girls win. Society, in general, convinces women that they have to look sexy in order to receive the approval they need. Society aims to convince women that they're sexual objects and the sexiest girls win, and women actually believe that they're sexual objects. They actually are convinced of that. And they have to be the sexiest or else they lose. They failed at life. So why do women want to be thin? Sexual objectification is the driving force of every single issue that women have faced in history. It gives men power. It also is one of the oldest social issues the world has ever faced, if you think about it. The theoretical line graph of its severity took a dramatic upward increase, though, a couple hundred years ago, when there were no cameras and no editing. Painters controlled the public eyes of the naked woman outside of their personal lives. Painters over time started painting pictures of women that were meant for men, like old-fashioned porn, if you will. Naturally, they painted the ideal woman, a woman of sexual perfection. Small waist, small everything, large boobs, wide hips, large butts. Gradually, men and women have grown to understand that this is what they must look like in order to win. They must have the perfect body if they're going to be the best at being a sexual object. Women have grown to believe that in order to win at being the sexiest, they have to be super thin, just like the women men look at. They have to be thin, like the women men look at, if they're going to feel like they're important at all. Obviously, nothing has changed. It's only gotten worse, way worse. Instead of paintings, women look at pictures of the ideal woman everywhere they go. They see what they're supposed to look like in order to be the best. They look at these pictures of women created by computers and think that they have to look like that. No one can look perfect, yet women slave over their weight and appearance because they're constantly told that they must be thin in order to be beautiful. And I'm going to show you this 1-minute video clip that I think demonstrates it's perfect. Sound would be better, but you don't really need sound. There we go. saw that when I was in middle school. Somebody showed it to me. And kind of thought about it ever since. But, alright, so no woman can look perfect. Obviously, like, women can try, and they can slave over their weight and their appearance because they're constantly told that they must be thin in order to be beautiful. They don't know that it's a game they play, that it is very much a competition, yet there is no winner. In fact, everyone is a loser. Everyone. But they continue to play in hopes that they'll win or at least get second place. Best. According to sociologist Dr. Heldman, most women think about their body every 30 seconds. I know I have since I've been up here. Really. I definitely did. I walked in and I was like, oh my god, what am I doing in this outfit? But even so, whenever you cross your legs or stand up or even just breathing and your stomach goes in and out, you think about how fat you are. This is common. Women think, like, I can't sit like this, it makes me look fat. I can't wear this, it makes me look fat. Women are slaves to their body. Society tells them to be skinny, so they either stop at nothing to be thin, or they become depressed and unhappy because they're not sexy, and therefore they lost the game. Dr. Heldman said that 97% of women dislike their bodies, and this isn't surprising to me. Even women with next to perfect bodies don't like their bodies, because no matter how hard they try, there's someone that seems better than them, and something is missing. They're not good enough for some reason. When women lose weight, like they're supposed to, their boobs shrink, and they're out of the game. When women's butts get bigger, they get covered in stretch marks. They're out of the game. You will never be sexy as the ideal woman, and so you fail. You amount to nothing. You can keep on trying, even though you will never win. Sometimes, thousands of times a day, women see the ideal woman that they can never be, that no one can ever be, but they lose weight because it'll put them back in the game, so they think. Men are scorekeepers, the referees, the audience of this never-ending game. Would the woman compete if the game had no audience or score? Women willingly allow themselves to be objectified. The game they play. They play the game. They lose the weight, they get the boob jobs, they sell their souls for the possibility of being the ideal woman. But what if all women forfeited, gave up the game, moved on to a different game where everyone is a winner? They focused on what they can create, how many lives they can change, how beautiful they can be on the inside. There's so much more to women than their bodies. When I said that women sell their soul for the possibility of being the ideal woman, I was serious. Women give up everything special and unique about them in order to be the ideal woman. And this is a quote I found online that I thought was really awesome. It says, "The scale can only give you a numerical reflection of your relationship with gravity. That's it. It cannot measure beauty, talent, purpose, possibility, strength, or love." And I don't know who said that. It was just like a picture of a scale. And I thought that was really awesome. And so the commercial I showed you before, I think, demonstrated it really well, but these are just pictures of celebrities that we think are like the perfect, beautiful people. Like, Keira Knightley is like skinny. She's super skinny, but she has absolutely no boobs, even less than I do. And this picture of her was edited to make it look like she has these big breasts. And I said under it, society expects women to be really skinny, to weigh nothing, but then they also expect them to have big boobs. It's messed up. And like Kim Kardashian here, she's like these big hips and these big boobs, and people love her body, but she's covered in stretch marks, and her skin, like, she has cellulite, but they convince you that she's perfect and that you have to look like her. And then this picture, everyone has seen this. Like, this was all over Facebook when I was in high school. But I thought this was really interesting. Like, her body, I think, is beautiful in this picture. I don't think this needs any editing. But they still made her, they removed the small bit of cellulite that she had, and they made her skinnier. And they removed her tattoo, which I think was sad. But, and these two pictures basically just show, like, even your arms, like, women typically don't think of, like, oh my god, my arms are so fat. But they even made her arms smaller for this picture. And they took away her bath pad, the little bit of it that it was there. And just to show you how fake this is, like these two pictures, they're kind of small. Can't see them that well, but they were taken within the same week. And that was under the caption of this. Like, obviously that's not what she really looks like, but we look at these pictures and we go, oh God, like, my arms are not as skinny as that, but neither are hers. For real. Okay, what's my next one? Alright, and I want to let you guys know that please talk to me later if you'd like to know my personal experience of what terrible effects playing this game can have. I'd love to tell you, but only because I know that it is possible to forfeit, to give up playing the game. At the end of last semester, so pretty recently, I met a woman who had dropped out of the game. I saw with my own eyes what life can be like outside of the competition arena. She doesn't care about her weight, even though I talked to her about this later, and she's like, well, I'm a woman, like, don't say, like, I don't care at all about what I look like, but she really, like, if you meet her, like, Sarah knows her, she really does not care about what she looks like. And I had to understand this, like, I had to understand. I met her, and I just needed to know how she could be that way. So I asked her to meet with me, and at the end of last semester, and now we get coffee together at Starbucks every Thursday morning, including today. And she teaches me how to respect myself, and that I don't need attention for how close to the ideal woman I am to feel good about myself. So she really doesn't care about herself, about the way that she looks, but she's so beautiful. She's 38, and we both get hit on at Starbucks all the time, and we just laugh as we shut them down because they're just referees in a game that we refuse to play. I had once sold my soul to the possibility of having the perfect body, of winning the game, but I recently learned that I can take it back, and it's easy. It's my soul, and I don't have to sell it to anyone to be thin, because I don't have to be thin to be beautiful. I used to be terrified of getting old because I didn't want to grow wrinkly and fat, but now I love the idea because when I'm old, I will be so wise. I used to go to the gym to lose weight, but now I go to the gym to train for a triathlon I'm doing with my sister this summer. Ladies, there are better ways to compete. Someday I will meet a man who has also dropped out of the game. He doesn't want to be a referee of a game with no winner anymore. He wants a winner, but a real winner, not of that never-ending game. And this is the one that I've kind of loved over the years, like Breakfast at Tiffany's. Audrey Hepburn is a beauty icon, but even her beautiful, perfect face someday got old and she died. But I mean, she died, but her face, like, she didn't die with her perfect face. In the end, how important will your weight or appearance really be? External beauty fades, but internal beauty shines so much brighter, and it shines forever.
Thank you. I think what we have to do is hold questions till the end for the presentations because we want to make sure we want to get through the presentations today. So we'll if you have questions, save them and hopefully have time to ask them at the end. Thank you. So.